If you've been playing this game for any length of time, chances are you have this champion. You probably put her in your vault thinking she isn't good anymore, and you're probably sitting on the key to just about any area of the game to help you get past it. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. I am Matt Capper. There's another video on Raid Shadow Legends. We have a champion who has been around since day one. She's affectionately known as the dominatrix of Raid Shadow Legends. Psylar, the Dark Elf. Time to dust her off, get her back in play. She is one of the most forgotten champions in this game. If you have her and use her, you know what I'm talking about. But if you have her and you have her in your vault, you might be doing yourself a disservice. So without further ado, let's take a look at Psylar. Toxic Cloud. Attacks all enemies. Has an 80% bookable to 100% chance of placing a 50% decreased accuracy debuff for 2 turns. Leaden Legs places a 30% decreased speed debuff on all enemies for 2 turns. Decreases the turn meter of all enemies by 40%. Surge. Attacks all enemies. Alright, here is Psylar, and of course, this is not how I recommend you build her, but I wanted to showcase that she can do damage if you need be. She's kind of that second tier damage. She's sneaky damage, but she's definitely not a primary nuker. Her kit is too valuable as a support to really use her for that, but her multipliers aren't all that bad. So let's take a look at what we are working with here. So we have an 2.0 on her A1 and a 3.8 on her A2, or A3 does the turn meter decrease and the decreased speed debuff. So that is her. I'm not going to go over her masteries until we re-gear her to how she should be built. But if you needed and wanted her in damage, we're going to take a look and see what she can do for damage. Their total stats here: 6374, 250 crit damage, 168 speed. Now, I will tell you right now that I'll back right out of it. I'll back right out of this house. I'll tell you right now that we're not going to keep her this way. She's not currently in nuking masteries, so there's even more potential here. You know, Helm Smasher or Fatal Execution. Definitely the one that gives you 10% crit damage, 5% crit rate, extra for first hit, all that stuff. We're not going to have those, so she's not going to quite be at her min-maxed for damage, but we're going to get a good indication of where she is on the damage spectrum. So what we're going to do is we're going to take her. I'm going to take her real quick. We're going to do a couple damage tests, and then we'll re-gear her, and I'll show you how I want and expect to use her in 2 different areas: the arena and, of course, the mighty Hydra. All right, here we are in the Doom Tower. We're going to see if we can get this to work here. She is really slow, so hopefully that boost will be enough. Yeah, we should be able to get everyone's damage in. So we're going to use his... We'll use his A3. Right? And then we'll use her A2. There we go. That's all we needed. Just wanted to see the damage comparison, just for an understanding that she's not a high-end nuker. If you need her in the early mid-game, or if you want to surprise someone in arena maybe. But that's her A2. 156,000 versus 369,000. She's got 63 attack. He's got 71 attack. They're both in the Savage. He's got about 10 more crit damage. But that's kind of your difference here. And if we want to take a look at her A1 versus Cupid Eye here, let's do that as well. Is that unfair? Well, whatever. It's an extra 25% damage. You see his A1 versus her A1. I think she was kind of comparable here. Oh, not too far off. So, and that's that extra damage with Venus. So A1 can hit pretty decent. But that's not where we're going to do it. Now you've seen the damage. Short and sweet. I don't want to take too much time with it. Now let's re-gear. I'll go over her gear, why I chose the gear I did. And then we'll talk about her in the arena and in the Hydra. All right, so here is our rebuilt Psylar. Let's talk about what I'm doing here. First off, if you have the speed to be able to do it, I highly recommend a control set for Arena. The reason why is if you can get there, it's just giving you extra crowd control. She is a turn meter manipulator first with that speed debuff if she lands it. The bad side is, of course, Polymorph is out there, and their recent rebalancing just means it's going to be even more difficult to deal with, which is absolutely silly. But I suspect if you're using Psylar in this manner for the Arena, you're probably not at the point where Polymorph is a huge deal and is probably worth the gamble. So having her in a taunt set can give you the opportunity for control. The reason why I'm using a taunt set, it is the best chance to land of any reliable control buff. What I mean by that is you've got a 30% chance to provoke. That is higher than the ability to stun, which is only 18%. It's almost double. Now the downfall is she could die, that is absolutely certain, but at least you're directing one attack away from your nuker, your more fragiles, your reviver, that sort of thing. So that's my whole purpose of doing that. So if you don't have a good provoke set, you can use a stun set. You can even, if you need to, use a sleep set, though I'd recommend stun or provoke over the other. Also really good in faction wars. She does have a skill that we don't talk about, which is that 22% ally speed and faction crypts. Really nice to get past those faction wars. Really easy with Dark. I still use her to this day in the Dark Elf one, which is about a 1 minute for me. She makes that happen because she just controls the turn meter against those Valkyries. Very, very strong. And overall, just a great kit to have in Arena, and a very underrated one. So as you can see now, we've changed her out. We have her at 536 accuracy, 305 speed. Now, speed and accuracy, more important than the control set. If you don't have the speed you think you need, whatever that is, right? Then do not worry about a control set. Just put her in a good speed set with some perception, whatever it takes to get these numbers. If I were going to use her as my solo control, like I was going to use Duchess, her, side by side, something like that, I would rather have her faster. She's 105 speed, perfect. I would rather have her in like my Warlord set, where I would have her 350 speed at 650 accuracy, or even higher accuracy if I can get it. You know, go a little bit lower speed, 330 at 750 accuracy. Because running that turn meter control is way more important than this control piece here. The turn meter is what she's meant for in the Arena. So why don't we take her to the Arena, and then finally we're going to use her in the into Hydra, and we'll talk about her there and what makes her so special. I mean, what can I say about the Arena? But it's pretty self-explanatory what you're trying to do. You're trying to control the speed. So I've got her going second. She's going to reduce everyone's, put everyone slow. That means I've got the power now. So now I can take the time to do what I need to do, which is that to eventually win. And we get the stone skin, even better. Oh, poor girl, right? We've also got that nice, she still got a nice little bit of damage there, but that's exactly what she's there for. Now, if you have a single target nuker and a all right, here's another one. We're doing slightly different. We're playing into what we're seeing there. We want to make sure that our Yippee Skippy here does not put any bombs on us. And then we're going to control turn meter and give ourselves the chance to destroy the other team, which for the most part we just did. Let's see if we can strip. Of course we can't. That's fine. Yeah, you do all you need to. You do you, buddy. Okay, let's get an AoE out there. Boom, dead. We even put the decreased accuracy, so if he was to get a turn, which he won't, then he wouldn't be able to land it. There you go. Good, another good example. That's all she is. It's nothing. It's not crazy. It's not some kind of voodoo magic. It's just controlling the enemy. That's what this is all about. Here we got one. We don't want her voodoo magic here. So let's control the turn meters we can. Kill some people. Obviously, she's gonna get a chance to revive. That's fine. We can kill her now, I think. Okay, see what happened there? Perfect example. Really good with Cardiel. Her A1 AoE with an ally attack. Now we've got 2 provokes. So if this was a closer fight, it's not gonna be. But if it was a closer fight, now they don't. What are they going to do? There's nothing they can do. We have the control, and their two nukers are basically dead in the water unless they kill Psylar. But even then, one of them has to kill Psylar, thus holding them in control. So that's where I see her in Arena. If you can get her in that control set, it's great. Provoke is really, really good. Because of its ability, it's got a 30% chance to land as opposed to 18% from stun. So just keep that in mind, but stun will work. Sleep in a pinch will also work. So all these sets are at your disposal to try to hold the enemy to however you can. Psylar, amazing in the arena. As a kind of a budget Lysandra would be the best way to think of her. She doesn't boost turn meter, but she definitely drops it. And that AoE A1, you can definitely exploit it with ally attack. So, final step, what are we going to do? Well, we're going to take her into Hydra and show her where she is absolutely amazing. All right, here's the Psylar we are using. Slight difference in change. We now crit capped her. We did change her masteries out to... And this is a question I have for you all. What does how does Giant Slayer react on AoE skills? There are so few champions on AoE A1s, I forget whether or not Giant Slayer gives each individual one the opportunity versus War Master, which would only proc on one head, or how does that work? Let me know in the comments down below. But we're gonna go with it. I mean, I don't know whether it should be War Master or Giant Slayer, but obviously we don't need the same. We certainly don't need the same action. We don't really need the same resistance on the rest of the champions, of course, because we're dropping a decreased accuracy. But I'm not using some kind of super all epic team. I don't have the resources to build another one right now, so we're gonna have to just slot her in a very decent team, I would say. So I apologize for that in advance. But the big thing here is that we can drop that AoE decrease speed, which is really strong, and then we can just have this opportunity to run AoEs. She's got that provoke set, so when it comes to dealing with the head, let's see, I guess we can go after her. When it comes to dealing with the head of, I don't have any damage on this team. The head of decay later on, we'll be able to do that. So I'm going to disappear here. I'm still sitting in the middle, of course. Move her over, and then we'll disappear. Well, you know what? It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate she died at turn 111 because this went to turn 223, mostly auto. And you can see here, Duchess with 1.2, not a big deal. Psylar 5.7, Cardio 6.3, Venus, the big deal. Of course, Cupid is doing most of the damage here. Psylar was really helping. Unfortunately, she got eaten early, which made it a lot more difficult to deal with the head of decay, which is showing up. But mission accomplished, I'd say. She did exactly what I wanted to do. Well, I just didn't get an unlucky turn on her getting eaten so early. Like the next, I didn't lose the next person until like turn 220 or 200, and then of course it's a free fall. But there you go. That's Psylar. And I know, hey, I get it. You're looking at this going, okay, you've got 5 legendaries. You've got arguably all of them OP in the Hydra. But my point is, Psylar was able to do her job. She was able to slow the enemy down with her buffs, her debuffs, sorry, her speed debuff, which allows us to get more turns on the enemy. And then she's got a taunt with the gear on her, both of skill A2 and A1. And she's got the decreased accuracy, which reduced the potential for me to lose my buffs to the head of mischief, especially when it wasn't Krisk. Krisk was my normal target, but every once in a while it was Duchess. But this Duchess doesn't have a high resistance, but with that decreased accuracy, she has a high enough resistance. Same with Cardial. He's got, well, actually Cardial's got high resistance anyway. But it really helped out in making sure that there was very few times until she was eaten that, and you know, you might have watched, if you watched the whole run, you would have seen a lot of times where the head of mischief stole buffs once I lost Psylar, and it was pretty ugly. He had double heal buff with crit damage and crit. It was crazy, but overall great key, and I think Psylar fits perfectly into this. I didn't even bang her out for extra damage. You could probably even build her high damage as long as she's survivable and get away with it and do even more damage on this. Let me know in the comments down below. I didn't get a chance to really take a look at it. Is a Giant Slayer on someone who's got all AoE, is Giant Slayer good, or is it a case where it would only proc once either way? I don't know. So maybe even she would have had more damage with War Master. Please let me know in the comments down below. But there we go. Time for final thoughts on Psylar. My final thoughts on Psylar. This is a champion I hope you have not forgotten about. She's got his speed aura in Faction Wars. She's got decreased speed and decreased turn meter, 40% on an AoE, my friends. She's got an AoE decreased accuracy at 100%. She's got an AoE A1, very good for provoke sets, stun sets, sleep sets, any type of crowd control AoE. Really helps out there. Complete package champion, very good in arena, very good in Hydra, very good in waves, Doom Tower waves, very strong at control. All these different scenarios, you can build her out in different ways depending on what you need. She also can hit a little bit. She's not crazy damage, but she can hit a little bit. Overall, great complete champion that I hope you have not, like I said, forgotten about. Definite build into the late game. I still use her in Faction Wars. I will be using her again. I've used her a couple rotations in Hydra, but I think I need to use her in more because I think she's just really good in Hydra and very strong for just doing all the things you need to be able to do. She can check most of those boxes, or many of those boxes, which really helps the team out. So overall, I think you're gonna have fun with her. Look at her base stats. That 105 speed, it just jumps out at me as huge. 18k HP, nothing to be sad about. And of course that attack at 1100, not a huge attack. Her multipliers are okay, so she will do some good supplementary damage. You can see, hey, she lasted 100 less turns than the rest of the team on that Hydra boss, and if you give her an extra 100 turns at her current pace, she probably would have been around 8 million, 9 million damage, which I'll take that from a support champion. So like I said, amazing champion all around. Highly recommend. That's all I have for you today. I want to thank you for watching this video. What do you think about Psylar, and what old champion do you think I need to review next? What old school, been around for 4 years champion? Maybe I built them many moons ago and just haven't put a review out or a new one out. Let me know in the comments down below. But of course, as always, in the meantime, I want to thank you for watching, and please be kind, be safe. We'll see you in the next video.